Hey guys, I'm Josh from Layzee Acres. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do an orientation on the Jayflight SLX. We're doing these for 3 reasons. So that people can look back when they've done their orientation and look back and get some information of stuff they forgot. We're also doing it for customers who can't do an orientation in person because they're too far away or something's stopping them from doing an orientation. And also for customers who are looking to get into a trailer and want to understand how to operate one, what kind of maintenance they need, those kind of things. I've already done the video on this one. One thing I did forget to mention is that you got to be getting up on the roof, checking your seals every 90 days. I know I say it in every video, but it's really, really important. If you don't do that, your trailer will leak. It's just a matter of time. So you have to get up there, check your seals. We're going to start on the outside of this one. Like the video if you guys do like it. And subscribe. We're going to keep on putting new videos up every day. Thanks, guys. Hey, guys, we're going to do that outside orientation on the Jayflight SLX. Let's get started up front here. These all have a manual front jack, up and down, nice and easy. If you do want to change this to a power jack, it is really simple. There's 3 bolts here. You can just take this whole jack out, put an electric jack in, and you just hook up a wire straight to your battery. If you want to get into that, you can. Pretty straightforward. Actually, you can always ask us to do it too. You have 2 20-pound propane tanks in all these SLXs. Basically, whatever side this switch here is pointing at, see how it's pointing at this tank right now? That's the tank it's drawing off of. When this tank goes empty, it's going to automatically start drawing off this tank without you touching anything. But there's going to be a red line that shows up here at the front. Okay? When that line is there, you know this tank's empty. Then you can flip the switch over, the line will go away, and then you can take this tank off and get it filled. Then you're going to come back, bring this tank, hook it back up with propane. Then when this tank goes empty, it's going to automatically start drawing back on this tank, red line again, and then you can flip it back over here. And just back and forth like that, okay, 1 tank at a time. In Ontario, you can go down the road with your tanks on, okay? You have to shut them off at tunnels, gas stations, and ferries. But you can go down the road with propane on, running your fridge. Here, there's going to be a battery and a box that comes with the trailer with 2 wires hooked right up. Okay? The red wire is positive, the black wire is negative, just like a car. If you're not using the trailer, it's just sitting in the driveway, not plugged in, sitting in storage, not plugged in, you're going to want to disconnect the negative lead. Okay? Because if you leave the battery hooked up for like a week on end or a month on end, you're going to come back and the battery's going to be dead. Okay? So you want to disconnect the negative lead because the radio is going to draw it down, the propane side is going to draw it down, and you don't want to come back to a dead battery. So disconnect the negative lead. The reason we don't disconnect the positive lead is if you take this lead right now and it touches the frame of the trailer, it's going to short out. So you leave the positive lead on, and that way you don't have an issue with them shorting out. Okay? If you ever hook your battery up backwards, there is fuses and breakers inside that are going to blow. I'll show you those when we get inside. Awesome. Come down here. We have 4 stabilizer jacks, 1 on each side. They are stabilizer jacks. They're not leveling jacks, so you don't pick up the trailer with those jacks. What you do, when you get up to your site, you get back onto the site, put a level on the floor of the trailer, see how far off you are side to side. If, let's say you're low on this side, you're going to pull ahead off the site, put a piece of 2x6 behind the wheels, drive back on those pieces of 2x6, and then check again, see how close you are side to side. If you're level, then you're going to turn the level itself front to back and level the trailer with the front jack. So now you've leveled it side to side, you've leveled front to back, and then you're going to come here and put those down to stabilize your trailer. Those are a 3/4 inch socket, so you can always use the handle to bring it down, or you can use a drill. Put a 3/4 inch socket in a drill and bring those up and down nicely. Whenever you're dealing with your baggage compartment doors, guys, you want to make sure you lock both sides. If you just lock the one side, there's not enough pressure. See how there's a little bit of give there? Water could get in here if you don't lock this side. Quick note, with Jayco SLX in 2020, they are key to like. So it's 1 key for this, your outside kitchen door, or your main door. So 1 key for this trailer. That's a nice touch. Coming down here, we have 15-inch tires on this Jayflight, which means they have to be kept up to 80 PSI on this one. The smaller tires will be kept to a lower rating. on the tire itself, it will give you the rating. Always keep it at max pressure. The reason why people get like flat tires or unevenly worn tires is usually because they don't have the tire pressure up to snuff. These rims are steel rims, so they have to be kept at 100 foot-pounds of torque. So when you get the trailer home, you really should torque these lug nuts down. It's your first couple trips, they can loosen off in those first little bit, so you should torque them down when you get home. 100 foot-pounds. Right in behind this black plastic or rubber cap here is a grease nipple. You need to grease your bearings for the axles here. Grease them at 6,000 miles, and what I mean by that is a shot of grease at 6,000 miles, and then at 12,000 miles you repack the entire bearing. Okay, you know, garages do that for you, that kind of thing. So that's at 6,000 miles you grease them. At 12,000 miles you repack the bearings. All right, 80 psi endurance, Goodyear endurance tires. Here we have a 30 amp pull-out style cord. This comes out about 25 feet. If you're on 30 amps, you can run everything in the trailer. If you adapt it down, like I have, to 15 amps, you can't use the electric water heater or the AC. So you can use everything but that, but you can't use those two things. Okay. All right. Furnace vent, don't touch that. Outside shower, pretty straightforward. Just a hot and cold water hose with a shower head. Just don't forget to winterize that. That's the thing about that. Here's your water heater. Unless you're winterizing, you don't touch this. Okay? There's no switches here. There's no things to adjust for you to adjust. There's no valves to touch. Just leave it alone. If you're winterizing the trailer, you're going to take this plug out, and the water is going to fall out of the water heater. Okay? And then you put this back in when you're done. On the topic of winterizing, I'm going to do a video on winterizing, but my honest opinion on winterizing is just pay for someone to do it. Could be us. It's like 70 bucks, 80 bucks. Could be your local guy, whatever. Just pay somebody, have them do it. You don't have to worry about it. It's not very expensive. Here's your city water connection. Whatever water you have, whatever water pressure you have going in here, you have pressure on the lines. You should have a pressure regulator to regulate that down to 60 psi. If you don't, you always run the risk of there being too much pressure at the park and you blowing a line or a tap or something like that. So this has nothing to do with the freshwater tank or the water pump. This is just water straight in and runs to your taps, your sinks, your toilet, all that stuff. Okay. Now, down below here, we have our sewer. Okay. And I'm missing some gate valves here. There's your black water. Your gray water must be further forward. Yeah, gray water is further forward. There's a label. I don't know how I missed that. But that's your gray handle right there. Okay? With this, if you have water at the site, okay, like if you have sewer at the site, right here, you can leave your gray water open, let that run out. Your black water, you have to keep that closed. Okay? If you leave the black water open, the liquids are going to run out of the tank and the solids are going to build up on the bottom. Okay? That's a problem. Eventually it'll build up to the tank and it'll build up to the bottom of the toilet and it'll plug your toilet. So you leave the black water open. When the black water tank is full and you're ready to leave, or the tank's just full, you close your gray water and then you pull your black water, and it's going to flush out all at once. Okay? Yeah, just keep that in mind. Never leave your black water open, even if you have sewer at the site. If you don't have sewer at the site, you're going to pull out the trailer to the dump station, pull one valve at a time. Don't pull your black and your gray at the same time. Pull your black and then pull your gray, and your gray will rinse out your hose for you nice and easy. Okay? Awesome. So that's that. This one, though, has an outside kitchen with a specific gray water tank, and that's why there's another gate valve back here just for the tank for the outside kitchen on this model. A lot of models will not have this, but that's a little thin ABS pipe here, 1.5 inches, just for your outside kitchen tank. All right. Coming around the back. Oh, right here. We have cable and satellite inlet right through there. That just runs to your main TV. Spare tire, full size. Comes back here. This vent here, the reason that's there is when you have the outside kitchen fridge running, if it's plugged in, it's running, and you have the door closed, the fridge needs to have a place to vent out. So that's what that little vent is there for. The fridge itself, there's no real, things to do to it. You can turn it on, turn it off, do what you want. There's controls there for that. That's the electric fridge, nothing really to talk about. This sink is plumbed into that tank we talked about outside. Some storage, whatever. Here is your gas 2-burner stovetop. Now this is not hooked up all the time. You have to hook this up when you get to your spot. So there should be a hose down below here. Oh, there's not. That's right. It's a detachable hose on this one. We'll get to it when we get inside. There'll be a black hose about 3 feet long with a what looks like a quick connect fading on it. That's going to hook up to here and then hook up down here. Just when we're down here, come down, cameraman. The nipple, for better, anyways, it goes in there. All right, locks in place, and then you turn the valve on. Okay. It won't let you operate this sleeve if the valve's in the on position. So have it off, hook it up, bingo bango. Okay? Have that in for when you're traveling down the road, that little gas cap. Okay, so outside door into the washroom, that's not important. Fridge vent, don't touch it. If you want to run cable or TV outside, you would operate that here. I'll show you that TV bracket in a minute. This is if you don't have water at the site, you're going to fill up as you enter the campground or before you leave home. Basically, you just stick a hose in there. When the freshwater tank is full, it's going to splash back out at you, bingo bango. To operate this, you turn on your water pump, which we'll get to on the inside, and then it's going to pump water from your freshwater tank to your taps, just like the city water connection. Outside receptacle, if that's not working, it's because your GFI inside has been kicked. While we're outside here, I'm just going to run the awning out. So there's a switch right here, we'll talk about in a second, but just so you can see that run. You got any jokes, cameraman? Did you guys hear about the 2 cell phones that got married? No? The reception was fantastic. Anyways, awning's almost all the way out. Basically, you run it out till the valance is sticking down about 90 degrees, like what you see right here. Okay, so you run that till that's that point. You can adjust the pitch of this awning by just coming to one of these arms and pulling down right here. Notice how the side of the tube here is sloped away now, so water's going to run away. Okay. Other than that, very, very straightforward. When you're maintaining your awning, just use if you're cleaning it, use like a very mild multi-purpose cleaner. If you use something that's like a degreaser or something like that, you're actually going to wear through the film that protects the awning. So use a very mild multi-purpose cleaner if you're going to clean your awning, and just brush it, and then spray it off. The awning is not meant for really, really rainy situations. So if it's raining hard, you put the awning away. If it's windy at all, you put the awning away. Warranty does not cover a wind coming up and pulling the awning off. Warranty does not cover rain, building up on the awning and bending a tube. It doesn't cover those things, right? Those are operator error things. And we have claims every year from insurance that are for those, but those aren't warranty things. Okay? Awesome. Let's put that awning away. And yeah, let's just finish everything else up. Oh, one more thing. Let's do the hookup to the front. Sorry. So I always talk about these 4 things that make you legal to tow the trailer. First off, this is a 2 5/16 ball. So the weight distribution hitch or the hitch you're using to pick up this trailer has to have a 2 5/16 ball to fit. This coupler, when the ball comes in underneath, locks in place, this coupler locks down and a pin must go through here. So that's one. Okay? Then we have chains here. These chains need to crisscross underneath the hitch and hook up on the truck. Crisscross. So the chain from this side has to end up on this side and the chain from that side, vice versa. Hook up. That's 2. Then you have lights. Okay? This is your 7-way connector. This plugs into the back of the vehicle like so and gives you lights. That's 3. To operate this properly, you have to have a brake controller in the truck. This trailer has brakes. To operate the brakes, you need a brake controller. So you have to have a brake controller, but that's 3. The 4th thing is sometimes forgotten, but it's a breakaway cable. Okay? So basically there's this thin little cable, and this has to hook up to the truck with a separate connection. Hooks up to the truck like so. Often I run this through the pin and hook up like so. What this does is if the trailer comes off the truck, this is going to pull a pin out of the trailer and lock up the brakes on the trailer, so the trailer doesn't follow you down the road or weave into traffic. It's just going to stop dead using the brakes on the trailer, which is also why it's you have to have a battery on board a trailer to travel with it. But that operates that there. And then yeah, the cameraman pointed this out. We have solar prep here for a solar on the go ZAMP plug. So if you have a panel, you can have the panel here. It plugs into the side and will charge your battery for you. That's a pretty straightforward plug. If your solar panel doesn't have that plug, there's typically adapters to make that happen for you. Awesome, guys. That's the outside. Let's see what we can do inside. Hey guys, we're inside that Jayflight. Particular, it's a Jayflight 324 BDS, Jayflight SLX. Pardon me. Let's look at the inside stuff. We have our safety stuff. So we have a smoke alarm right above me right here. That has a 9-volt battery that's just for this. If that battery gets low, it's going to start beeping once every 30 seconds, just like your home alarm, right? But that is on a 9-volt battery alone. There's also a fire extinguisher by the door, and then a propane detector and carbon monoxide detector right around the corner here. That detector right there is wired right into the unit. If your battery on the front starts to get low, that's going to start to beep once every 30 seconds. It's also really sensitive to certain smells, so like certain kind of cleaners or whatever, that can set that off too. So just keep that in mind. It may not necessarily be a propane leak, and maybe what you've been doing in that vicinity in the last few minutes. So just keep that in mind if you're using some kind of funky cleaners. Let's go on to your propane appliances. So we have a 3-burner stovetop here. You always light your stovetop first before you light your water heater, your furnace, your fridge, anything else, your oven, anything else. You always light your stovetop first, just to get the air out of the lines and propane to the appliance. So you just turn this to light. I can hear the gas come through. I give it a couple seconds, and then you light it. Okay, nice and easy. If you want, you can use a lighter here, but this sparker is very reliable. Then for the oven, so you can go light the oven or the other appliances after you've lit the stovetop. You turn this to the pilot function, which is this little flame there, and hold this in. As you hold this in, it may take a few seconds because it's a very small gas line. As you hold this in, you spark it. Okay? Now, come here, cameraman. You're going to get a look at this flame. It's very, very small. Okay? It's at the back of the burner there on your right. After you've looked and you see that this flame is on, you hold this button in for about 30 seconds. Okay? Once it's heated up the thermocouple enough, you turn this to whatever temperature you want. And now you can see the oven is lit right up. Okay? There's a light here in this oven too. Awesome. Now, if you're going to use the oven a few times during the weekend, sure, leave it on pilot. If you're only going to use it once, just turn it off. Okay. Great. Our fridge is super simple. It's a Norcold fridge. Really easy. If you want to turn it on, turn it to auto. Okay? The on green light will show up there. Auto means it's automatically going to come on hydro. So we're plugged in right now, so it's going to run hydro. If I go outside, unplug the trailer, it's going to flip over automatically to gas. Okay? If for some reason, I can't think of reason, but for some reason, if you want to run it on gas, even though you're plugged in, you flip this over to gas. Okay? Simple as that. If we listen carefully, you can hear click, 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 and then a little bit of a roar of a flame out there. You can actually hear it much easier from the outside of the trailer, but that just lit on gas for us, nice and easy. If you come in here and the fridge light's not on, that's probably because you don't have the fridge on. Okay? So the fridge has to be on for the light to work. Believe it or not, I've had that complaint. 1 through 5 is your cold selection. Okay? I'll let you play around with that however you like. RV fridges aren't as efficient as residential fridges, so they take longer to cool down. If you just come in here, turn your fridge on, it's going to take 3-4 hours. to cool down. If you come in here, turn your fridge on, and put a bunch of food in there, it's going to take 7 or 8 hours to cool down. So get ahead of that. If you know, like the night before, put all your food in there, get it all cooled down ahead of time. Awesome. So we have a thermostat here. To operate this, you turn it on. Okay. Now there's going to be a few different modes. Right now it's in very fine leather, it says off. But I'm going to go through different modes. First mode is fan. Okay. So right now the fan's on low. So if I leave this here, the fan on the AC will come on low. Okay. If I kick it again, it goes to cool. If I was above 55 degrees in this trailer, the AC would come on with the fan. You hear the difference there? It just came on. If I push mode again, it goes to furnace. Because I'm below 90 degrees in this trailer, the furnace comes on and the AC should shut off here in a few seconds. The reason the AC didn't shut off is because I left the fan on low. I have to take this off low and go to auto. Now the AC on the fan should shut off. Boom. And now we just have a fan on the furnace. I know it's hard to kind of tell the difference between the two on the video, but right now just the furnace is running. Okay? When I go to shut the furnace off, I just go to the off position. The furnace is still going to run for 2 or 3 minutes afterwards, just to get rid of all the excess heat, and in case there was a little bit of a propane leak, it would get rid of all the excess propane. Alright, let's come to the back here. This is all pretty straightforward stuff. Yeah, nothing really much to do back here. There's a TV location on this model with a cable outlet, not a satellite, a cable outlet. Okay. Let's have a look at the washroom. Sorry, camera, coming up fast. Sorry, guys. Furnace is going to shut off here in about 30 seconds. With the toilet, the key is with the toilet, you have to leave water in the bowl. If you just have a dry toilet, if you just leave a little bit of water like that, the trailer is going to stink because there's nothing keeping the odor down. You have to leave a couple inches in the bowl, keeping the odor down. Awesome. We have max airs on a lot of our trailers now that we put on. So when you're traveling down the road, you can leave your vent open traveling. You can also leave it open in the rain. That is especially important in the washroom because you don't necessarily want to leave water in the bowl when you're traveling. That's going to splash all over the place, right? So drain the water of the bowl for your traveling, but make sure you leave the vent open. The outside receptacle is attached to this GFI. So if that outside receptacle is not working, it's because this GFI is kicked. Awesome. Let's have a look at the kitchen. Anything else in the kitchen? Oh, thank you, cameraman. This button right here is for the back slide. When I put the slide out all the way, it makes that clutching noise. It should make the opposite noise coming in. I'll bring it in here. These are rack and pinion slides, and a lot of the Jayflights are. So you'll actually see the slide start to lean in, and it'll touch at the top, and it'll suck in at the bottom. That is all normal and to be expected. So you see what I mean here. Starts to lean, it will touch at the top, and then suck in at the bottom. Okay? Same kind of clutching noise when it's in. I pulled this box out here earlier. Remember how I couldn't find the hose for the outside cooktop? So this is going to plug into the cooktop, like a quick connect, and then this side goes into the trailer, and away you go for your 2-burner stovetop. This is a mount you could mount on the back of a TV and clip it to either the outside of the trailer or your bedroom TV location. Show you what I mean. So this right here has a TV on it, just imagine. Hooks on right there, and then clicks on. To take the TV off, you flip this lever here, pull it out, pulls out at the bottom, and then off. Okay, so that's how that TV bracket works. Jayflight, Jayfeather, I think even Eagle uses this type of TV bracket. All right, I'll let you guys mess around with the TV and that kind of thing. This does have a DVD player built in. It's Bluetooth. Sorry, it's not a DVD player. It is just a CD player on this one. You have AM, FM. You have speakers inside and out, 1 and 2. So outside speakers will be 2, inside speakers will be 1. That's pretty easy. Your TV is just on a flat bracket, so you don't have to worry about strapping that down. That just stays up. Some models, though, are on an arm, and if it's on an arm, you have to make sure it's pushed all the way back, locked into place. Right underneath here, we have our cable or satellite. So this is satellite right here, or cable. This has a TV antenna on the roof of this model. To turn the antenna on, you push that button in, and there's a little green light there. Okay, lets you know it's on. If you have the TV antenna on and you're trying to watch park cable, it's not going to work. So turn the antenna off if you're using cable, on if you're using the antenna. Okay. Another one of those things that often draws down the battery. All right. So we talked about the awning, right? We operated that. We've operated the slide. We know how that works. Here is our switches for our water pump and water heater. So the one on the bottom left here is your water pump. So if you have water in your freshwater tank, so we're not talking about the city water connection, you have water in the water tank, and you want to pump that to your taps, you're trying to pump. You can hear that. We don't make water in tanks, so it's not going to work. But that's how you operate that. If you have city water connection, you do not touch the pump. It has nothing to do with the pump. Only if you're using the water heater, or the fresh water. Something new for 2020 for Jayco is they have a gas water heater and an electric water heater now. So if you want to run on gas, easy. Flip it on gas. Okay? You'll stand outside the trailer, you'll hear it go click, 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 and then roar, like the roar of a flame. If you're going to run on electric, you just flip it on electric. That's all you do. You don't have to, you don't hear anything, nothing like that. You flip it on electric. The problem with electric is people will turn it on and there won't be water in the water heater. So it's the first time you've used it for the year. You've winterized it, so the water's out of the tank, and you just come in here and turn the electric water heater on. You're going to burn out your element. You have to make sure you have water in the tank before you click the button on. The way I tell if I have water in the tank is I will come here, turn on gas. Okay? Then I'll come back an hour later and run the tap. If I have hot water, consistent hot water coming out of that tap, I know I have water in the water heater itself. And then I feel comfortable enough to put my electric heater on. Okay? That's the real only way you can know for sure you have water in the water tank. So that's how I do that. If you run the water heater on gas and there's no water in the tank, it doesn't really matter. You just kind of make the air inside the tank really hot. You don't burn anything out or anything like that. Microwave, that's pretty straightforward. If you don't know how to use a microwave in 2020, I can't help you. Great, guys. Oh, good call. Cameraman saved my bacon. We have fuses and breakers here. So this unit itself converts power from 110 to 12 volts. So if you listen carefully, you can hear a fan running from that. And that's something consistent you're always going to hear because it's working. On the left here, we have 110 breakers, and they're labeled. Right? It'll say main or breaker function, utility, AC. You know, those are obvious. If a breaker's kicked, it looks like that, right? So you kick it all the way off, turn it back on. A fuse has a little red light beside it. So if the fuse is blown, that light will light up. They're also labeled, right? Furnace, bedroom area, antenna, all that kind of fun stuff. But if the fuse is blown, that light should light up. The two fuses that are not labeled and have no lights are these two 40 amp fuses. They're your main fuses for the converter. So do you remember at the front when I said if you hook your battery up backwards, it'll blow two fuses? Those are the fuses I was talking about. Or if you touch the positive lead on the frame of the trailer, like I was saying, you touch the positive lead, frame of the trailer, it's going to kick those two 40 amp fuses. There's no label and there's no light. The most common fuses, there's no label, there's no light. Anyways, if the entire unit is getting dim, you're not converting energy, that's most likely the issue. You're either not plugged in or those fuses are blown. Okay? I would keep a few spares of those. They're just regular fuses. You can get them from Canadian Tire. Nice and easy. Awesome, guys. Just down below the step here, as you walk in the door, is where fuses and breakers are. On the 50 amp service, which is what we're in right now, the breakers run this way and the fuses across the bottom. On the 30 amp trailers, the breakers will run down here on the left and the fuses on the right. This would be a 50 amp though. We have our breakers in through here. They're all labeled. If a breaker's blown, you know what that looks like. It kind of looks like it's halfway across like that. Just kick it all the way off, kick it back on. And then you have your fuses down here at the bottom.
and they have a little red light beside each fuse letting you know if the fuse is blown. They're also labeled as well, like bath light, furnace vent, that kind of stuff. Same thing on the 30 amp trailers. The fuses on the right will be labeled, and the breakers on the left will be labeled as well. The fuse on the right will have a little light there, lighting things up for you. Cool.
That was the inside. I hope you liked the video. If you did, click the like button. It helps us get more views. Subscribe as well. We're going to keep on putting updates of new orientations and new trailers we get here at Layzee Acres. Thank you. Have a good day.